Okay, as you know, Camp Rock was a legendary film series hosted by Disney Channel, defining the 2010s for that network. And today, the third installment happens to be coming out. With the first one coming out in 2008 and the second one coming out in 2010, I can't help but wonder what this would have looked like if it came out in 2012, but we'll jump into that later. This movie continues the new Disney branded television pattern of taking the old stars and having them be the spearhead of the new generation of movies and TV shows, which can always have its upsides and downsides. If you've been on my channel before, you'll know I've covered almost all of Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, the iCarly 2021 reboot, all in their entirety, so I kind of have an interesting gift for noticing some of these things. And honestly, I feel like it's never better than getting the original actors to spearhead these things. But it brings us back to our original question, was it needed to be spearheaded at all? Was it needed to exist? And that's what I can't help but wonder as I look at the Camp Rock 3 movie trailer. The Jonas Brothers have not shied away from the spotlight, being on a lot of podcasts in this past year, a few new albums in this new 2020 age, and while doing a Christmas movie with Disney Plus, which by the way is the only thing that explains why this movie exists, probably because if they got to do that movie, then this movie got to happen. And I gotta be honest, I like what they're putting out. I really do feel like they've had a really good track record of bringing back the nostalgia and balancing it with the familiar characters and energy that made the original band and TV movies so interesting. I've watched a lot of Jonas more recently, and I know Mr. Nostalgia did a video on the complete series, so please go check that out. And I'm excited to see this new iteration. As we know, these franchises are really defined by their main character and like whether or not they kind of have this pop star vibe to them, as the old Disney Channel worked on so well. And this time around they have a girl named Liamani Segura, who is a Scorpio, for anybody that cares. And her history is all with Disney Channel. She was in the Wicked Wonderland Descendants movie, High School Musical, the series, so she's got a lot of history behind this, and you know Disney, they like to work with the same people over and over again. But she definitely has a lot of good charisma and energy. It definitely gives those Demi vibes, and honestly, I think it'll be a lot better of a match than it was even originally. They announced the whole cast, which you could actually look into now. It's like widely available online. And they announced the cast in a way you normally would like a high school actual musical, no pun intended, you know, like when you put a cast list on a wall. Like that's kind of what they did with an Instagram post, something that a lot of people are doing nowadays that I guess I understand. There's like a lot of hype to it, but it also does give me like indie film vibes. Like me and my friends who went to college for film definitely posted like actors headshots and stuff. Like it just kind of gives me like the amateur vibe, which is not necessarily a bad thing. If anything, it's more connected to the audience. So it's no surprise that the Jonas Brothers became the whole centerpiece for this trailer. And by the way, it's a teaser, not an even entire trailer. They're like trying to give us only like a minute at a time so we don't go crazy about all the things they introduce, which by the way, they introduce a lot in this, like more than I was even ready to handle. For example, the first shot is the original logo, of course, to kind of remind us why things are going to be okay this time around and that our nostalgia will not be beaten down. The Jonas Brothers, first and foremost, come out of the car only to be greeted by Teresa Russo. No, I'm just kidding. She's a different character in this, but it's still cool that she's a part of it first and foremost. And they announced they're going to be going on tour and are looking for an opening act. Ooh, definitely a great entrance for a lot of high stakes to be involved. I also love how grounded this is. It almost feels like the original Disney talent search vibe, like hearing Esteban come on your radio asking you to be a part of Disney. I'm not sure how legitimate those things always were, but this time around it's cool to see it as if it's like a fantasy playing out. To see that Connect 3, you know, the Jonas Brothers fake band in this, is actually doing well and successful, and they somewhat had a revival tour the same way the original Jonas Brothers did. Like, it's so meta, honestly. Like, lean into it. And of course, this whole trailer, all I could think is where and when is Demi Lovato? You know, she's my favorite character. She's my favorite actress. I mean, literally, Sunny with a Chance is my favorite show. I've gone over every season so far, and I just love And I just love her sensibility toward comedy. I like her voice in singing. I don't necessarily like her singing in that show just because of the context of the show, but otherwise, like, I like a lot of stuff she does. And when I saw that she was producing this along with the Jonas Brothers, a lot of green flags went off in my head, so to speak. But of course, they're going to do that thing where they don't introduce the most famous person until like the end of the movie or like the second half, and I don't know how I feel about that. They did that in Mamma Mia too. If any Mamma Mia fans are out there, I loved the original Mamma Mia, but the second one just got a really weird. Of course, when you do a musical sequel 10 years later, there's just so many weird things you have to account for, like people aging, different song genres being popular. Like, at least they're leaning into a lot of really good song genres in this. The pop rock vibe is perfect for Disney Channel in a way that doesn't fend off older fans, but definitely introduces newer fans into it. Of course, this demographic seems to be teens, just like the original, which is also an interesting choice, because as you know, iCarly and Wizards Beyond Waverly Place kind of leaned toward a more millennial demographic by appealing to the original fans of what those IPs were, and this one seems to be a little bit broader, trying to make it fair for everybody, which makes a lot of sense. If anything, I'm a little bit more confused why this isn't in the theaters. You know, like, come on, bring it to the theaters. What happened to the theaters? The song primarily featured in this is called One Shot, and honestly, I don't hate it. I mean, the hook is really a great vibe, and seeing everybody dance again is exactly what connected us all to the original movie. Honestly, it makes me miss the Cheetah Girls a little bit more as a 2000s fan. I don't know why, I just loved the Cheetah Girls. That was just such a fun franchise, and if they could bring some of that energy to this, you know, I'm not gonna complain. So we're gonna jump to my expert sources, the Disney official wiki, which is made by fans. Of course, you know that they're the most smartest people when it comes to this stuff, and actually, like, learn more about this movie. So, of course, it's gonna come out August 13th, 2026 on Disney Channel, and then a day later on Disney Plus, just to get us to watch the original channel, which I didn't even know there was still an original channel. That's insane. The story picks up when Connect 3 loses their opening act for the major reunion tour, and their beloved Camp Rock is their platform for finding the next big thing. So all the campers are fighting for their chance to win the favorite band, but tensions rise and friendships are tested, leading to unexpected alliances, revelations, and romances. Oh my god, how broad is that? That is the most generic explanation for a plot I've ever seen. So the all-new campers introduce bold and determined Sage, who is the main character I was talking about, and her easygoing brother Desi, who will be played by Stone. And beside all the Jonas Brothers and Teresa Russo, it seems like Demi Lovato isn't even on the current cast list, which is insane. I can't find any proof that she has anything to do with this, but hey, that's always gonna end up how it is, isn't it, guys? The person who wrote this film is named Eddie Fay, who is a movie producer from the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. Very interesting. She went to school for music and also wrote plays, which is really cool that, like, they got somebody who actually knows all aspects of this. She was a part of the J Team with Jojo Siwa, which is a whole new conversation I don't even necessarily want to know if we should get into. And it's interesting because I wonder if this was in 2012, 10 years ago, if it would have been just kind of like a teetering off of the original film saga. Like, I feel like 2 wasn't as good as 1, and then 3 wasn't as... and 3 has a chance to not be as good as 2, but does this reinvigoration coming in 10 years later mean it's going to be better? Like, maybe that's going to work in its service, especially with a younger movie producer / writer being at the helm of it. Like, she wouldn't have written this 10 years ago, and that's something that is really important when we're talking about this. I'm so proud of the diversity choices, though. Like, they've gotten some really amazing and talented singers and actors from all different walks of life, and I can't believe how well it's integrated into this trailer even. Like, I'm sure the movie will be fine too, but like, this is like really impressive that they got all these people together like this. We actually even see Mitchie's songbook in this, which is crazy because that definitely was a huge plot point for the original movie. We see some of the original sets, which is really nice and nostalgic to look at, but really it's the new actors and actresses that are trying to breathe new life into all of this and make it more than just nostalgia. Although they do put Camp Rock, the logo, everywhere they possibly could, it just makes me wonder how much they're trying to do it. Hopefully it doesn't become a detriment to the show itself. They even have like one quick joke of this guy losing his of this canoe kid losing his paddle, and I don't know why, that's just so funny to me. The logo is definitely awesome and updated, and I really feel a good vibe for this movie. Like, I think it's going to be really good. If anything, I'm happy they waited 10 extra years to really reflect on the original movie and see what worked and what didn't, because that would have been the major red flag. But what do you guys think? Does this look like something you're interested in watching? Or, like, how do you feel about the new cast, where the Jonas Brothers featured enough in the main trailer that if you're a millennial or somebody of my age that cares about the 2000s, that you're going to tune in and actually watch this? Like, there's a lot that it takes a lot to get us to watch stuff nowadays, so I'm so curious if this is going to be one of those, like, revolutionary new movies that bring us all back together, or just going to be a distraction that just shows up on my feed and I click past. I'm just curious. But for me, if they don't shoehorn the love story, I think you'll have some good chances at winning over my affection, especially since I like Demi Lovato. Like, you just have to put her in more than one scene and I will be happy. But you know what, that's just the thing. I feel like sometimes we watch these movies and that's all we could think about, like, when the new people are gonna leave and the old people are coming in. Like, I really hope that doesn't work against it this time around. But it's cool that we got a new trailer into this. I really hope we get another one, you know, like right before the movie. At least convince me that I should watch this. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Johnny 2000s, and as you know, I don't normally make videos like this. I don't talk about news or things that are up and coming. So I do like to do timeless pieces, actually going over individual seasons of TV shows. So if you're interested in hearing me talk too much, definitely check out any of those. Just think of the first season. Just think of your favorite season of a TV show, and then I probably covered it. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.